I grew up in a village in Petersburg, about 4 hours north of Johannesburg. Although my family discussed politics openly, I was shielded from the madness ravaging my country, and I had little contact with the struggle against apartheid. I wasn't exposed to the activities of the Young Lions, a generation of youth at the center stage of the struggle in the 1980s. Today, South Africa is a modern democracy, and on the surface, bears no scars of its past. But I wanted to know what happened to the youth that had fought the regime, armed with only stones and dustbin lids. I chose Alexander Township, a sprawling urban slum on the edge of some of Johannesburg's most affluent suburbs, a place legendary as the center of the popular struggle against the apartheid government. In the course of my journey, I found a story of 3 men, a story which not only spoke to me of the struggle itself, but which put real faces to the generic images I found in the archives. In the 1980s, Benito, Bridgman, and Gorbachev were teenagers and generals in a ragtag army, fighting at the vanguard of the struggle. They faced death on a daily basis, and they carried the responsibility of many others' deaths on their shoulders. They witnessed firsthand the depth to which humanity can sink. I wanted to understand what price they paid for their involvement in my country's liberation.
Many are called, but few are chosen.
Today their lives have taken dramatically different courses, and they now occupy dramatically different places in the post-apartheid order. In the former whites-only suburb of Bramley View, on the edge of Alexander, I found Benito Lekalakala. Benito is now a lawyer, and although he still works in Alex, he recently moved out of the township. He is articulate, precise, and analytical. At first glance, it is almost impossible to imagine him running through the streets of Alex or throwing a brick at the police.
I have now dedicated my life to the community of Alex. I'm involved in a number of community-based organizations here. I started the Alex Community Law Clinic, which is a center that provides comprehensive legal assistance to indigent members of this community free of charge, and then formed my own law firm. As an attorney, I understand better my clients who come mainly from Alex, working class background. I understand them and I am able to advise them accordingly because I understand the angle they come from when they discuss issues. And at school, I wasn't a genius, obviously, and I was an average pupil, average student when I go to university, and I think I'm an average person, even now.
Bridgman Sitwell is 34 years old today. He is still involved with the African National Congress and works as a senior administrator in the local government housing department.
I'm a product of the struggle, in a way. I've been given my life over through to the struggle. To date, I'm the one who still views participation in terms of ensuring that government delivers, to ensure that what we struggle for is realized sooner for our people. One sees oneself have still being, chained to that commitment of the struggle.
Kenneth Gorbachev-Shai is the only one of the three who still lives in Alexander. I went with him one day to watch a local soccer match.
When you are not working, being a breadwinner, it's hard. I must go and seek work for myself. And what frustrates most is that I don't care about myself, but then my siblings and particularly my child's future, because I want to secure it.
I don't want to go out of Alex. I want to have my own house in Alex and live with my child and the mother of my child in Alex.
Something happened that day which gave me an insight into him. Gorbachev suddenly decided he wanted to play. At first the players refused, but he negotiated his way onto the pitch. He often told me that he's the mayor of Alex. I wondered whether he still saw himself as he had been in the 80s, running the township.
When we rap our song, like Abo, oh mama, Bambiza Kelly, hey Kishi, you see those things, it affects you. You know, my mother is a domestic worker, Bambiza Kelly. So why should you sit back? You go and join the crew. Ayo baba, Bambiza boy, hengati. When the young lions are chanting, chief, you'll join, like it or not.
It wasn't fun. It involved all risks, involved at least detention, it involved killings and maimings. Even some of the people within the community hated young lions, people who were not conscious enough to understand what these young lions were up to, had that attitude. So it wasn't fun, but for us who were conscious, it was the point where we said, this is where, as young lions, we must really make our roar be heard, and that we must do everything we can do to change the system.
At that time, as youth, we were very, very most daring. We understood ourselves to be the vanguard of the struggle. People who were there to put their lives at risk for freedom. And we were going to bring the country to its freedom. And as a result, we are these young lions who were ready for the call to battle. Young lions also were like, when there was a calling for a fight, you rely on them to do whatever. This was the time as youth to fight for liberation of our country.
Kukude mama,
kukude, kukude mama, kukude, kukude mama, kukude, kukude mama, kukude, kukude mama, kukude, kukude mama, kukude, kukude mama. Brings back bad memories. As an activist during these times, anything could happen to you. So you were always on the run and always fearing for our safety, either that we may be detained or may be killed.
Yeah, it really brings lots of memories. Quite a few people that I've seen here who are no longer with us today. This reminds me of the youth who was killed by the security guard at that supermarket. Yeah, the 6-day war had then just begun.
I went to the supermarket which Bridgman described, the place where in 1986 a 17-year-old boy, Michael Diradiwe, was killed. In retaliation, the Young Lions destroyed the building. This was the first act of what became known as South Africa's 6-day war. For 6 days, the Young Lions fought the regime head-on, and for 6 days, Alex was held. Ironically, this strange surrealistic landmark is now occupied by homeless people. I wondered how many of them knew the history of this place.
The 6-day war was a turning point because it marked a prolonged head-on confrontation with the enemy then, and the community went out in support of the action, and that's why the action was sustained for those 6 days. And then many people were then mobilized by that, and the level of consciousness in Alex grew from that day.
Death really brought no fear at all around those times. We knew that you would be one of the gallant soldiers that paid the ultimate price by your life in exchange of freedom. the exact date, but it was during the peak of the 6-day war. One of the evenings, and we're doing the rounds in the township. So as we came across this site, a police van came and it slowed up towards us, and we continued, we remained silent. And it came towards us and they said, "Hey, what are you doing here?" We never responded, we kept quiet. And then on noticing that we're not provoking them or responding in any way, they drove past. So we came, they were in this direction. So towards the corner, there was a group of about 4 to 5 boys were sitting, just having the usual boys chat. And they said the same thing they said to us, "Hey you, what are you doing?" And those boys then panicked and scattered. So as they scattered, they opened fire. And as a result, one boy was shot through his neck and head. And he lay there bleeding. We came to the scene. But there was nothing much one could do. The police just simply drove away and left this boy to die. A number of youth during that night were killed all over the township. So this story was one of the many stories that happened during that 6-day war.
We had to go to a funeral of Michael. So we go there, we buried him. On our way back, that's where the whole thing started. The police were blocking a roadblock. They started spraying us with these pump guns. That's where I got shot. Shot me at the back and in my hand. I fall down. So people saw me falling down and they thought I was critically injured or what. I managed to wake up again and run, and someone rescued me. Later on, I found my mom crying. "Mommy, what's happening?" She said to me, "Son, people came here and say you're dead." "No, I'm not dead. I'm alive."
There was one common thing that was driving all of us, and that was the quest for liberation. And whatever we did was done with that in mind. And we had abandoned our individuality and we became part of the group.
Siyabonga comrades, umhlangano uphelile singaphuma-ke siye emakhaya njengoba kukhulunyiwe.
Basically, he hasn't changed much. You see, except to say, I mean, on this footage, I mean, he used to keep his hair mostly uncombed.
To defend ourselves.
Well, at that time, I don't think I had thoughts that I would be where I am now, because what preoccupied me then was what I was doing then And that was the struggle.
Futhi uBenito mangaqala kwamazi bokunenye indawo bathi kuse-basement e-8th Avenue. We used to have meetings there. So I would attend there, listen to these elderly comrades of mine talking, and I would grab easily. And uBenito motivated me in many ways. He was like my elder brother.
Gorbachev was a jolly person. He was full of character, full of energy, and a go-getter. He's a guy who wanted to see things happen, much as he wanted to learn the theory around the struggle, what was happening, and so on. He wanted to see things happen. He was like your action man.
They are different personalities, different characters. Gorbachev, Bridgman is a little reserved and does not fraternize easily. But Gorbachev, it's a loose person. He fraternizes easily, and he is easy to get along with.
The relationship got even stronger when we were in hiding, because at some point we got into hiding together with him, as well as Benito and the other chaps.
When the police intensified their harassment, we had to find ourselves a place to hide, because we could not sleep at home anymore, because they were raiding our homes day in, day out. So we had to move out of our homes and find ourselves a common place where we could stay.
At that stage, we would have died for those comrades, and I want to believe they would have done the same.
I went with each of them separately to try to find the hideout where they had spent so much time together, whilst on the run from the police.
It would certainly be one of the shacks that are somewhere around this place here. A lot has changed, I must say, but definitely the place is one amongst these other shacks that are here.
I still remember very well. Now we are going too far, that side.
As I watched them taking me to a different street or corner, I wondered how something which had been such a great part of their lives then could have so little place in their lives today.
Definitely a lot has changed in this place, but it was situated somewhere around here.
At first I found it strange that none of them could find the hideout. Then I realized that not only had the landscape of their lives changed, but that Alex had swallowed its history without a trace.
We ate from the same bowl. We used to cook for ourselves and or buy what you used to call spikos, and we come and eat here.
It's a place where everything happened, where everything was planned, and we would go out having planned from here to execute our plans.
It wasn't like a question of giving orders, no. It was a question of understanding each other.
We had one bed, but we would share it or sleep on the floor. So it wasn't an issue who slept where, really. We would just sleep. It was quite enough for us to share.
Yeah, everything we had was used communally. We shared everything, and whatever money we had, we would buy groceries for all of us, and then we would eat, all of us, from the common pool.
It's a place where really our bonding took place quite a lot, the three of us.
We were very, very close.
We are like brothers from the very same parent.